Realize that the people who actually end up being successful or getting ahead or actually figuring out this life thing, they are people who never really stop learning. Like, they are always learning about different things, about how to interact with different types of people, always upskilling, always making progress. So learning is so important. It's just so important. You need to be a lifelong learner. Hi, I feel like I'm becoming more comfortable on here because even my filming frame, there's more space, you can see my hands. But anyway, hi, I hope you had a good week. I know I did. I went on like 2 friendship dates, and generally those type of things make me happy. So I just had a good week by virtue of that. And so I hope you did too. Anyway, if you're new here, my name is Diane, and on this channel I talk about things I'm figuring out about navigating life in my 20s. So one thing I haven't said before is that most of these videos are actually inspired by the happenings in my week. Like, at the end of the week, I'm like, okay, what happened in my week and what can I make out of that? So the thing that has really been on my mind to speak about is how to never stop learning, how to constantly upskill yourself, because it's something that I've worked at, yeah, particularly this week. So that's what this video is going to be about. Today I'm here with my notebook because I did some type of social media detox, and so I'm just going to urge you to get a notebook as well, or an iPad or a phone or something to make notes, because I'm going to be talking a lot. Before we even get into it, I just want to be very clear and say that the focus of this video is not on academic learning. Some of these things I'm going to say will actually cut across and touch on that, but that's not the main focus. When I'm saying learning, it's learning about the various things in life. If it's about finances or social interactions or public speaking, just learning. When we say learning, it's just acquiring knowledge about something. If you are learning how to bake, like me, or learning how to swim, so it's not just about school stuff or academic stuff. So that's the type of learning I'm focusing on in this video. So just by saying that, the methods you are going to use are going to be dependent on what you decide to learn. Because if I was going to learn how to swim, I wouldn't just watch videos on swimming. I would have to do some practice. So it varies, but these pointers and steps I'm going to give, they are just things that cut across. Now, the chunk of learning is having a good idea, a good grasp of what your sources of information are. And this is key. Personally, I use things like podcasts. I believe I mentioned YouTube videos already, newsletters, interactions with my friends, and if it's more of upskilling or like specialized knowledge, I use platforms like Coursera. So I'm just going to speak about those individually. If you were to start my day with me, or maybe meet me like 30 minutes into my day, chances that there'll be a podcast on play or a YouTube video on play somewhere in the background are very high. There's so much knowledge and wisdom in good podcasts, especially podcasts that are maybe like trying to deconstruct or break down a good self-help book or a good book about something. Those podcasts are really helpful. So if you have any of those in mind that you think I should listen to as well, put them in the comments, because I'm actually looking for some new ones to listen to. So podcasts are a great source of knowledge, information, and help you to learn about life in general. Great thing about them is they cover a diverse range of topics. Like, you could learn literally anything. There's a podcast for something, so you could listen to that. And the second source I'm going to speak about is YouTube. A lot of people don't know this, but I learned about baking, about decorating cakes, about icing, all of that off of YouTube. It's good for things which need a visual backing to it. I used to use YouTube a lot for more academic purposes, but just knowing that there's also this diverse range available on there is good. So if there's something you want to learn, if it's about content creation, how to color grade, how to do some type of edit, literally any skill, you are going to be able to get that information from YouTube. So YouTube is a good place to start. Now, the third thing I'm going to talk about is newsletters. One of my friends, he's called Mike, maybe I should add him. He sends out a newsletter. I'm not so sure, I think it's weekly, a weekly newsletter, and he gives pointers about various things. As a creative, sometimes I read his newsletter when it comes in my email and actually make notes from that. Other newsletters I'm subscribed to, there's this educational consult, it's called IBS. They have a newsletter. They give pointers about how to improve upon your CV area, doing school applications, how to write for schools. So you can also subscribe to newsletters. Don't just fill your email with junk. Just subscribe to good newsletters and actually learn things from them. So newsletters are also another great source. One knowledge source I've actually started leaning into a lot more recently is knowledge from my friends or acquaintances, mainly my friends. I'm actually someone who is very privileged, I must say, to have highly educated friends. And I wasn't making good use of that. You have someone in business, someone in insurance. One of the most recent discussions I had was about insurance because it's not a field I'm well versed in. Most of you don't even have a good understanding of what your friends are doing, so you can't even tap into that knowledge source. By having certain discussions about fields you are not so great at, you get to know more and it helps you to make better life choices. So yeah, talk to your friends. You can just say hi, like tell me about what you do, because you never know how it's going to help you. So these are things I'll call like unknowns. There are things you don't even know that you know. So just get someone to tell you about what you are doing. It's actually good for conversation. So yeah, that's a knowledge source you should not be overlooking. So you can talk about insurance, finance, pretty much anything you are into. Now the next thing I'm going to talk about is platforms that are actually designed for taking short courses like Udemy, Coursera. I'm a little biased towards Coursera because that's what I've used a lot more of. But if you are in a particular field or industry, or maybe you are trying to pivot or move into a different space, Coursera is a good place to be taking short courses on a number of things. And since primarily my audience is people who are actually in Ghana or Nigeria, let me just tell you this. Please apply for financial aid and get certifications for those short courses. It's something I'm always doing. The applications take like 2 weeks for you to get feedback. So for example, if I'm working on a course now, I'll put in some applications, about 3 applications, and well, they've never rejected any of them so far. So in about 2 weeks, when I'm done with the course I'm working on at the moment, at least I'll have more courses to work on. Helps you to constantly upskill or just go over whatever skills you already have. Even though my background is in pharmacy, I'm learning about things in other fields because with the way the world is moving and the way things are going these days, let me just take us back to healthcare. There's this thing we speak about called a multidisciplinary team. So it just says in a healthcare team, you have a pharmacist, you have a doctor, you have a nurse, you have people from different backgrounds. And it's pretty much the same thing with corporations and organizations these days. It's not made with maybe one set of people, maybe tech-based people only, or software engineers only. No, you have people from different fields. So it's good for you to have not maybe a great understanding, but at least some basic information on what is going on in the various fields and various aspects, because it makes you a good team player and someone who is going to be able to be integrated better into these type of teams. The fact that I'm in pharmacy doesn't mean I shouldn't know anything about it. I shouldn't know anything about finance. So just get skills that will set you apart or make you stand out. When I started creating as a content creator, I didn't have a direction for it. I enjoyed filming, I enjoyed documenting my life, but I didn't see how it was going to play into my career. But now, as a pharmacist, sometimes I go to conferences because they need someone to give input on video creation. Like they literally take me along just for that reason. Maybe it's not a conference that I was going to be taken for initially, or because I have that additional skill, they see it as added value. And if selection is to be made to take people somewhere, I'll be paid. So don't stop upskilling. I had to pause because I was becoming too passionate. But guys, don't stop learning. Don't stop upskilling yourself. These things are so important. Anyway, I've been talking for a bit, and I just want to say that unfortunately, it's not such a bad thing, but I'm going to be changing my posting intervals to every 2 weeks because I'm doing some type of schooling again, and it's also going to be taking some of my weekends. So I'll see you in 2 weeks on a Sunday. I hope it's not too far off. Anyway, if you have any other pointers, there's anything that you think would help me as well, feel free to drop it in the comments. Have a great week.
Slipping through my fingers all the time. I try to capture every minute, the feeling in it. Slipping through my fingers all the time. Do I really see what's on my mind? Each time I think I'm close to knowing, she keeps on growing. Slipping through